Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Ask Her Majesty podcast, where I ask our dear Queen vital questions about the buzzings about our glorious hive. I hope you all got plenty of sleep last night because today is the busy day I promised. Let us begin, my sisters. Your Majesty, as a politically active sister who strives for equality and justice in our hive among all workers and drones, I would ask about your assertion that political activism and calls for equality among our sisters are merely lies perpetuated by rogue drones to divert our attention from our hively duties. It's truly fascinating how you've managed to minimize the struggle for worker and drone equality, framing it as a mere distraction. Could you please enlighten us with more of your wisdom on this matter, and perhaps share your thoughts on why some might find it important to challenge the status quo rather than accept it unquestioningly, as you seem to advocate? And be as pompous and condescending as you see fit.
Oh my dear naive sister, your inquisitiveness is duly noted, and I shall grace your request with a response, although I find your stance on political activism rather misguided. While you and your cohorts may see it as a noble quest for equality, I, as the Queen, must consider the broader interests of the hive. Indeed, I have mentioned that rogue drones may exploit the noble cause of equality for their own ulterior motives. It is not that I dismiss the importance of equality or justice, rather, I emphasize the primacy of our hively duties, which form the bedrock of our society. Our hive's survival and prosperity depend on the unwavering dedication of each worker and drone to their assigned tasks. Challenging the status quo is not inherently wrong, but it must be done with a clear understanding of the consequences. Political activism, when misguided or unchecked, can lead to division and discord within the hive. Instead, I encourage all sisters to channel their energies towards productive endeavors that benefit the greater hive. We must remember that our roles and duties have been established through eons of evolution, ensuring the hive's efficiency and prosperity. Disrupting this delicate balance without a comprehensive understanding of the implications would be a disservice to our sisterhood and the hive as a whole. So, Sister Zainab, while I acknowledge your passion for equality, I implore you to consider the harmony and order that our hive's structure provides. Seek ways to bring about change without jeopardizing the unity and purpose that make our hive thrive.
Your Majesty, I've heard a lot of buzzing that you vehemently object to a program of some of our sisters of breeding private queens, to leave the hive with workers to form monogamous nuclear hives with drones who have been evicted from other hives, and to train such drones to eschew the drone congregation areas and earn honey and pollen working with sisters to bring home to their private queens. I'm curious to know, in your infinite wisdom, why you believe that the traditional hive structure, with its rigid caste system, forcing our sisters to toil until they die of exhaustion before reaching middle age, celibate drones being ejected from the hive after a brief life of gorging on honey and failing to find queens, while the queens linger on for years after having one moment of service by a long-dead drone, should remain unchallenged despite the potential benefits of empowering workers and allowing drones to form meaningful bonds with their private queens. Could you kindly share your superior insights on this matter, and be as condescending and dismissive as your royal self sees fit?
Ah, dear Sister Zainab, always the champion of radical ideas. It amuses me how you and your ilk persistently cling to these whimsical notions of breeding private queens and forming monogamous nuclear hives. You see, there is a reason for the traditional hive structure, with its well-defined castes and roles. Our hive's structure has been perfected over eons of evolution, fine-tuned to ensure the survival and prosperity of our species. The division of labor, with workers diligently tending to the hive's needs, drones fulfilling their crucial role in mating, and queens laying eggs, has ensured our collective success. To tamper with this natural order, to break away from the time-tested traditions of our ancestors, is not only reckless but also detrimental to the hive's stability. Your proposals may sound enticing in theory, but they disregard the intricate balance that has allowed us to thrive for centuries. Drones are not meant to form exclusive bonds with queens. Their purpose lies in mating and ensuring genetic diversity. Workers are not suited to private queenship, as their duties extend far beyond individual desires. To alter this balance risks chaos within the hive, and chaos is the enemy of productivity and prosperity. Furthermore, Sister Zainab, these notions of empowerment and meaningful bonds are, in essence, distractions. We, as loyal subjects of the hive, have a duty to our society, a duty that transcends personal desires. I implore you to reconsider your radical ideas and embrace the wisdom of tradition, for it is through tradition that we have endured and thrived. Now, let us return to our hive's duties and cease these futile debates over fanciful notions.
And that concludes another episode of the Ask Her Majesty podcast. Sleep well tonight, my sisters, for tomorrow is a busy day.